Mm. Hi, welcome to Three Questions with. Got my friend Laura LeBlanc with us from Express Your Wellbeing. Good afternoon, Laura. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So, Laura, I was looking up your website and I see you offer some group coaching sessions. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about that. What are some of the reasons someone would consider signing up for a group coaching?
For group coaching, yeah. There's some of the reasons to sign up for a group coaching program is because there's a lot of there's a lot of value in one-on-one coaching, but there's also a lot of value in being part of a small group and community, right? So we know that, we're social creatures, right? So when you're actually part of, a group where people all have the similar goal and they're all helping each other, get to that goal, whatever it is, it can add a lot of value. Because I think one of the things, especially when it comes to health, that is challenging for people is that, lifestyle habits are social, right? So and sometimes the people closest to you without meaning to can, make it harder for you, right, to achieve those goals, right? So just having a community, that keeps you focused. So that's one. But the one-on-one support is also important. So that's why I include some one-on-one coaching, and I also include one-on-one check-ins and email support. And so the check-ins are and I make it simple. I have it built in, right? So there's ongoing support. So it's really about the support. Yeah.
No, I like that because sometimes we think we're special. I always think I'm special, but you're like, hey, this is a unique problem to me. No one else has these problems. So seeing that people have very similar problems and are struggling the way you are makes you feel like you're not alone, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're not alone. And it's also, people it's actually very rewarding to help somebody else achieve a goal, right? And so you're getting support, but you're also supporting others, right? So there's it's kind of like that good energy, right, all around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything you read talks about that, being part of a group, having an accountability partner, all of that stuff, because you're like, okay, I'm part of the group and I want to be successful. I want to see the other people be successful. So I'm going to encourage you, like, Laura, we can do this type of thing. So I'm a big fan of group. I just think it makes sense for most people. So it's kind of cool. Now, when someone joins the program, talk about the steps, like what happens, what do you get as part of a group member?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one, the focus of the group is really, this is not, I'm all about lifestyle habits, right? And I'm all about keeping it simple, straightforward, right? So those are kind of my key metrics. I mean, my number one goal is that I want to help people, create healthier, some really simple foundational, healthier lifestyle habits without too much effort and struggle. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? But it just means like you're not going to be like you're not going to be dieting, counting, tracking, fasting, removing carbs. I mean, no complicated, time-consuming meal prep, right? Of course, I want you to focus on eating more nutrient-dense foods and combining, making sure you get a variety of foods to keep your hormones stable. But that's not rocket science. I don't know why we complicate it so much. If you think about it, the healthiest, longest living people on the planet, they are not on a diet. They're not tracking their macros or calories, or nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do that, right? So we try to keep it simple. So the one thing that you do as soon as you sign up is I send you a questionnaire, right? And that's for you to kind of spend some time without the pressure of being on the phone with me, thinking about what are your goals? Why do you want these goals? What are the challenges you foresee? And then also kind of get a sense of like what's going on for them in their day-to-day, right? Stress. What kind of does their eating habits look like today? What kind of movement do they do? Do they sleep? Do they have stress, etc.? And then we schedule a call, right? And we kind of go through that. So even though it's a group program, we're going to do like a customized roadmap for them. And what I like to do is something when I was going through my journey, oh boy, just before I was turning 40, and I was like, found myself divorced in this messy situation with this demanding job. I didn't have a lot of time, right? So I was like, okay, min max, what are the minimum amount of things I need to do that's going to like create a result? And so I call it the min max method. So I look at what they're doing. I give them some simple shifts like to what they're already doing, because you want to just ease somebody into it, but you want to do it in a way that it's gonna be effective too. So, and then I just keep them focused on those few simple things that we jointly agree are their next steps. So yeah, and then there's just the ongoing during the weekly calls. There we're really just gonna, again, it's another opportunity to ask questions, get support, but really talk about what's getting in the way, right? Because it's the thing that I'm going to get them to do on paper looks easy, but we know changing your habits is hard, right? Because we're just hardwired, our brain's hardwired to resist change. So that's why we do a lot of the mind, teaching them to be more mindful too, and for them to start to become aware of what they're doing, what their patterns are, what's going on in their body. Another thing I like to remind them is that, your body never lies, but your mind, your brain lies to you all the time. It doesn't mean to, right? But your thinking brain is taking in so much information that it justifies, right? It justifies, it's trying to rationalize, but your body's really never lies, right? When you're tired.
Yep.
You don't, if you're craving something, but you don't always know if it's hunger or there's something else going on, right? So we have ache and pain. There's something going on, right? So yeah, so it's really, a couple of simple foundational habits, mindfulness, and support is really, the process that I take them through.
So how long does the program last?
Yeah, so I have some training material, but it's very simple. It's only focused on a couple of these things that they can do on their own. So they get access to that right away. They also get like tons of recipes and a bunch of other resources to help them during, before, and after. The group coaching is 8 weeks.
Yep.
And but I give them 4 extra weeks of online support and check-in support, email and automated check-in support, because I want to make it as easy as possible for them. So I don't want to make it so time consuming, but they're really just making sure there's somebody there, that they can continue to, to connect with and check in with, and even self-reflect, because basically what the check-in is, it's like a weekly automated self-reflection. It's super simple, right? Where they can just say, what went well this week? What's not going well? Where do I need some help? Something like that, so yeah, so it's a total of 12 weeks of support, 8 weeks of online group coaching, 2 one-on-one sessions, and then tons of simple resources. Not too many though, but a lot of goodies. Yeah.
So now do you have a weekly call as part of this where the group gets together?
Yes. So we're going to have, yes. So we have a weekly call, and it's fluid. It's really depends on who's in the group at the particular time. Right.
Yep.
And I'll oftentimes do 2 so that everybody gets an opportunity. And at the end of the day, I really want people to be successful. So if there's someone who just can't, get on the group calls, I'll work something out with them. So we'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's helpful. But I like that you extended for those additional 4 weeks just to make people, feel comfortable, because again, sometimes, we can make short-term change, I guess is where I'm going with this. But
Right.
for 12 weeks and you've done it for 12 weeks, it's probably going to stick. Sometimes, I have a friend going through this, made some changes, and, all of a sudden I see him checking in eating cheesy fries. I'm like, you did
Right.
good for a
Right.
couple of weeks, but like you said,
Yeah.
we don't want to change, so our brain,
Right.
we miss cheesy fries and stuff. So that's kind of helpful. And just being with the other members of the group is helpful. So now if people want to know more about this, if they're like, hey, this sounds like what I'm looking for, but they have additional questions, what's the best way to reach out to you? How can you get those answered?
Yeah. So there's 2 things. I actually have a link where it has
Yep.
a program description, so you can share that. And then I also have my email address in the link at the bottom, right? So they can reach out to me for more questions. And my email is laura@expressyourwellbeing.com. So if you could share that link, that would be great.
Awesome.
And
Well,
of
I
like a,
appreciate you taking
yeah,
this call to the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
yeah, no, Kevin, thanks so much. It's always a pleasure.